Hello, welcome back to Earle Wellbeing. Now, if you are anything like me, you probably think about what goes into your body, and you're also maybe drinking a bit more water these days to stay well hydrated. So, are you thinking also about the water that you drink every day? Whether you're sipping herb teas, making a cup of coffee, or just glugging back to stay hydrated, the quality of that water matters. So in today's chat, I'm going to be sharing some of my own research that I've done here at home for me and my family into different types of water filters, some of which I've been buying and using for years, if not decades now. So firstly, why might you want one of these at home? How do they work? Most importantly, how effective are they? When it really comes to things like removing things we might not want, such as fluoride maybe, chlorine, even microplastics. Well, let's begin with the basics. Here in the UK, we're really fortunate to have treated tap water that is considered safe to drink. But safe doesn't always mean pure. So depending on where you live, your tap water may contain low levels of chlorine, pesticide residues, heavy metals from old pipes, pharmaceutical traces, and in some areas added fluoride. Then there are PFAS, so-called forever chemicals, that have been raising growing concern in recent years. And then finally, something that is receiving a lot more attention lately, and that's microplastics. So a 2018 study by Orb Media in partnership with the State University of New York at Fredonia found that over 90% of bottled water samples they tested contained microplastic particles. In fact, when including particles as small as 6 microns, the average was more than 240,000 microplastic particles per litre. That's a sobering thought. And it's not just bottled water. Tap water can also contain microplastics, depending on your local supply and your pipe infrastructure. So let's look at some of the options available for filtering water at home and what they actually remove. Well, first up is the Aquatru countertop reverse osmosis system. Now, this is probably one of the most comprehensive filtration systems for domestic use. It uses a multi-stage process. I've got 3 filters here to remove up to 99% of contaminants, including chlorine, lead, fluoride, PFAS, and importantly, microplastics. It also tackles pharmaceutical residues, and it's easy to use without any plumbing. So the 3 filters that I have to change are carbon. I've got the reverse osmosis filter here, and then the pre-carbon filter. So that, I guess, is one of the downsides, apart from the cost of the actual unit, because it is a pricey bit of kit, is that you do have to replace the filters. But it's probably the cleanest form of water for home use. I've had mine now for a few years. I do love it, and I also do rate it. Well, next is the Cooker tap. Many of you might have seen these in modern kitchens. Can't really show you, but it's there in the plumbing, and it delivers boiling water, cold water and fizzy water, all filtered from a single tap, and the filtration unit is under the sink via a carbon block filter. So this will remove chlorine, and it does improve the taste, but it doesn't remove fluoride, it doesn't remove microplastics, and it isn't designed to deal with the heavy metals or the PFAS either. It's certainly convenient, it's space saving, it's not intended for comprehensive purification, so I use this for general cooking purposes. The hot tap, for example, is really convenient, and my kids do like to have fizzy water on tap. Next up, let's talk about the Arc glass filter jug. Beautifully designed. It's a sustainable option. It uses refillable carbon and ion exchange filters inside this glass carafe. It's ideal if you're trying to reduce plastic exposure because the water only comes into contact with glass. However, while it improves the taste and it reduces the chlorine and some lime scale, it doesn't remove fluoride, and there's no verified evidence that it removes microplastics. That said, the glass element does help avoid the issue of plastic shedding, which can happen over time with conventional plastic jugs. And you'll see with all my jugs the amount of limescale and build up because I've got a very hard water area, so Unfortunately, my jugs all end up just looking a bit grubby. So moving on to zero water, and this is a jug filter that takes things a step further than the standard options. It uses a 5-stage filter, including ion exchange and carbon layers, and it comes with a handy little measuring device to tell you the total dissolved solids so that you can track the performance. Independently lab tested to remove fluoride, lead and mercury, it's one of the very few jug filters proven to significantly reduce microplastics. It is, however, entirely plastic, and the filters do need changing fairly often, especially in hard water areas. And I'm not really keen on the plastic cartridges that need to be thrown away, but they are BPA safe, and if you want an affordable way to seriously clean up on your tap water, this one punches well above its weight. So, yeah, I do like that. But then there's also the Britta Jug filter, probably the most widely used water filter in the UK. It's accessible, it's inexpensive, it's easy to use. It improves the taste, it reduces chlorine, it removes some of the lime scale, which is helpful if you're in a hard water area, but doesn't remove fluoride, doesn't tackle microplastics, and it's not designed for heavy metals or PFAS, those forever chemicals. But it's a good entry point if you're simply looking for something to make your water taste better, take out the chlorine, not suitable for deeper purification. And then lastly, we have charcoal water filter sticks, sometimes called binchatan or bamboo charcoal. These are natural, zero waste option. You simply place a stick in a jug or a bottle of water, and you let the activated charcoal sit there, and it binds to impurities like chlorine, some heavy metals, and it definitely improves the taste. But it doesn't remove fluoride, it doesn't remove microplastics, and its filtering capacity is much more limited compared to, obviously, the more modern filtration systems. That said, though, it's a lovely minimalist solution, looks pretty, and if you want to avoid plastics altogether and just improve the taste in a glass, it's really good. Handy to carry around with you, you can pop it in your water bottle, so there we go. Now before we wrap up, let's just quickly touch on the container material itself, because plastic versus glass is a growing concern, especially of course when it comes to microplastics. Even the BPA-free plastics can shed tiny plastic particles over time, especially if exposed to heat, sunlight or repeated dishwashing. Don't put these in the dishwasher. So glass is your best option. It doesn't degrade or leach. If you want to reduce your exposure to microplastics, glass is a clear winner, both for filtration jugs and for the bottles that you drink from. So which filter is best? It depends on your needs. If you want maximum purification, including fluoride and microplastics, Aquatru or zero water, excellent choices. If convenience is king, you're not worried about the more complex contaminants, the Cooker tap might really suit your kitchen perfectly. If you're focused on sustainability and reducing plastic exposure, then a glass jug like the Arc is a lovely everyday option, very stylish. And if you just want better tasting water, a charcoal stick in a glass jug might be just right. Anyway, let me know in the comments. Do you use a water filter at home? Have you noticed a difference in taste or maybe even how you feel? Well, I'll put the details of all these with links to buy in case you are interested in the video notes below. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe and to like, because it really helps spread the word amongst our wellness community. In the meantime, have a very good week and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.